many countries. And it's very nice because we can share the space, we can share the time. It's very nice to work together with these younger guys coming from all the world. This is the space, a little bit, there's a big space, 2 floors, with the full of light that even in the north of Italy is good, because we don't have a lot of sun in north of Italy. And so to have big windows, it's good for the mood. I work with Ludovica, that is my partner since the beginning, and it's very nice to share with her. And it's nice because, you know, if you are alone, for sure it's better to share with somebody than be alone. That is for sure is my philosophy. I want to start with this sentence from Ernesto Rogers, that was one of the main Italian architects, and was one of the main editors in chief from Domus magazine, that represents for us really one of the Bibles of architecture and design. And he used to say, from a spoon to a town. So this is the how can I say, is the way a designer has to think his playground. We can design a spoon, and we can at the same time we design a town. We have to be able to scale our job, to be able to really to think, to invent from the smallest thing to the biggest one. I think this is important because that means that architects and design have a big responsibility on the lives of the people. For me, to be a designer is not just to be worldwide recognized as a star. That is something that I really don't like. But I really feel the responsibility I have with my job every day, trying to make the life of the people better. I can't save the world. I try to make a better place to live. And let's talk about design. So let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about what we do in design. And I have to tell you that for me, design is to share as we say before, to share my job every day with a lot of brands. I put this slide with the brands because this slide represents not the brands, the big names. There are more coming in the next future, but represent the people that is behind those brands. Every logo that you see here, every name represent people. For sure, the owners of the companies, for sure the managers, but even the people I work with on the prototypes that we work, the salespeople and so on. So for me, it's a very important the relationship that we have with these people. So every symbol, every logo, every brand represent a lot of people that we have the chance to work with and to learn a lot. Because I think this job needs time, because you have to learn from the people that is doing already before of you. And this is very important for me. So learning and be inspired. This is the first, let me say, the first essence of our job. When we have to create, it's like sometimes I feel like an empty space that you have to fill. Then you have to use this what you learn, what you get from inspiration from your culture to recreate something completely new. And when I design, I really try to catch the inspiration from everything. I look around and I try to get this inspiration and to use this inspiration, like when I'm cooking. I'm Italian. I like I can't see, you can see my body, but I'm not so slim. I like food. I like Italian food. I like also Mexican food, but I really like to cook for my friends, for my family. And for me, design is a little bit like this. You buy the inspiration with your eyes, like you buy the food that you're going to cook, and then you put all together, and then you mix it, and you create your own recipes. This is a very joyful way to do it. And when I do it, I just look around. For example, you see a wavy hat on the head of somebody, and then it becomes as soon it becomes a chair, or you develop it into outdoor collection, or you look at a T-shirt with the plissé, and then you change into a lamp. Every sign, every detail, every mood. For me, it's very important, the mood. Everything you can see. You can go to see a movie, a stupid science fiction movie, and it becomes a lamp, for example. That's the funny thing of being influenced by everything, and to be open-minded. And I told you I love science fiction. And for example, when we designed this is a eater for eating. This element you see there on the side, and I was looking these robots from Star Wars, and I was thinking, well, I want to design something that looks like a robot from Star Wars and makes light and makes hot, and so it was something funny like this. And so you see, perhaps you can think I'm stupid, but this is my way to do it. Also nature. I was born in Sardinia. Sardinia, is an island in the middle of Mediterranean Sea where the water and the rocks and the nature is very strong. And if I look at the shapes of the rocks, sculpted by the wind, sculpted by the water, these inspire me a lot. Very organic shapes, for example. But functions are the same. If you look at the way, for example, we use goods, a sofa can be inspired by this way of, like our ancient Romans, they were using the sofa. So we designed this sofa not just to sit, but also to stay, to live, and we gave. But we will talk about this sofa later. And again, fashion. I live in Milano. Milano is the town of fashion, and everything speaks about fashion. Sometimes even too much. I have to confess you that I love creative in fashion, but that I don't like so much that we have to change our dress every season. This is I think that we are a little bit exaggerated in this fashion style. And the cocooning and the motion. To design a bathtub, for me, we designed in the past a lot of components for the bathroom. I would always try to express a feeling, a mood, and we try as much as possible to transfer it into the shape of a product. Because design for me is not just to do a nice shape, but is to create a relationship, a very strong relationship with the object that you are designing. I have the chance to design many things, and I have the chance to have many people using my stuff all over the world. And now with the new social medias, we have the chance to even to be in contact with these people. And they tell me always the emotion first they tell me why they select my design for their houses. And also they tell me about the emotion that my design gives them in everyday life. And this is very important to understand this, because I don't design for myself, not only, but also design for the people that is using the stuff. And the same, walking in Chinatown in London, you can see a lantern, and it becomes a collection of lamps. Lamps are one of my favorite design favorite object to design. I had the chance to design many things, and I had the chance also to work in a special production site that is in the island of Murano near Venice, where they are expert in blowing glass. And we can work with these craftsmen that they still do exactly it was done hundreds of years ago, blowing the glass with the hands, with the mouth. And this is incredible, because you go there, you learn from these people, you stay there, you feel the smell of the burning glass when they do it. And there's a big emotion that inspires you. And this inspiration is very strong, because you can use this inspiration to create new stuff. For example, in this case, we were working on a lamp, and I saw always this lamp very flat, and I say, okay, let's try to use the technique to create a sort of a skin, a live skin on these elements, in order to design a lamp that is made in glass, but has a sort of a decoration that is made itself creating a vibrating light. This was a very, very nice experience that we did with this collection. And of course, when you open your heart to inspiration, you don't look only around of you, but you look also behind of you. So learning from the past is another interesting issue that when you are a young designer, you have to learn culture. To be cultured means many things. And for example, this was the one of the Tonet model. There was a democratic chair that was done in the past century, but it was a very inspiring me, and I say, okay, let's do a democratic chair today with the same attitude of let's say of shape, but also a little bit of glamorous touch, and and we decided to do it in plastic. So we changed this shape. You see on the left side, the chair is made in plastic, and is absolutely inspired to the original one that we were studying made in wood by Tonnet. And this is plastic. You can put it everywhere. You can wash. You can take it in outdoor. It's a very cheap product that is having a very very nice success. It's produced by Dria. That it was one of the old brands, old Italian, very very well known brands. I mean, when you grow up, when you grow old, you have the experience. You grow conscious. Your consciousness grow on a lot. So you try also to sometimes to get inspiration from yourself, from what you like, and from what is around you, but also sometimes inside of you. I like nature. I like to stay in the nature. I like to feel the nature. I think nature is very important. For me, environment is a very important issue in what I do. And I have to say that I like to stay in the nature, for example, with the horses. Horse riding is my sport. And I spent, in the past more, now less, but I spent it a lot of time riding. And riding, I was using the saddle. And from this saddle, we designed this chair. This chair is absolutely inspired to my life with the horses, and it's a little bit a different way to think about the way we stay, the way we sit. And the same, my passions, Africa, for example, is a place where I used to go often. I used in the past. Now I hope to come back soon, and watching the African stools that are so inspiring for me. This primitive shape we designed for Cartel. This chair that is both in plastic matte, as you see here, the black one, or can be chromed but it looks like metal, but is made in plastic. Is a chair very difficult to be produced because it's made in one piece, only plastic, and it's inactive. It's very light. It's stockable, and it's quite and it's a democratic piece, but it has I mean some issues that it makes that chair very very interesting. And again, Africa again. Africa for me is really inspiring because it's a very primitive and colorful and joyful place, and the inspiration I have when I stay in these countries is very strong. It's very very important. It's very very deep in my heart, and working on this inspiration, we were designing a collection of carpets for a brand named Sisita P. That is a very well-known brand now in the design community, and we started to design this connection between different patterns in a carpet. We want to keep this idea of a wild and Masai together into the same carpet, and we designed this carpet made by these rugs made by very roughy the texture, and we connected with these stripes made with the made with the recycled fabrics from the sari of the Indian women's. That's funny because we produce in Nepal, and so we're using the recycled sari. We create these stripes with this color. So melting together all the things, and this was a crazy picture we did with this carpet when we had the presentation. And is on the side, you see my dog Goku. That is one of my best, is one of my loves. Let me say. And the same, sometimes you walk on the seaside and you see a deck in wood, and working on this deck in wood. This was a picture I was watching many times, and in the seaside. And I say, okay, let's take this back. Let's put on this deck some pillows, and we create this collection from Giorgetti that is a very, very successful collection. Open your heart, open your mind, and try to be able to always to be. Sorry, I drink a little bit of water. Try to be able to catch the moment, the inspiration, the moment in your mind. One of my favorite superheroes is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a little bit a no hero. His talent for using his powers is very nice. And he has these nets that he launched with the hands, and you see the gesture of Spider-Man throwing the net with the hands. And so I had to design a shower. A new shower, and so we designed this shower that looks like a brush. But for me, it was the idea of like Spider-Man has the nets in the hands, and so we create a shower that you use like a brush, but you can move with your hands like Spider-Man is moving the net. So it perhaps was a stupid idea, but it's super successful now, because you can give you a lot of well-being, but also it's very, very nice because you have a very strong connection with your hands and the water. That when you have a cylindrical shower and shower, you don't have this kind of feeling. And you were saying about some design we had to get some prizes. Some of the most lucky product we designed. Bathroom is one of the most interesting part of our job. We can say that in this part of the design, we are really, really well known, and we had a lot of chance to express ourselves. For me, bathroom is really important for a couple of reasons. First of all, because it's part of the architecture. When we design a bathroom, when we design some elements for the bathroom, they are normally, how can I say, you design something that is, you think like a sculpture, like a product, but then when you put in the architecture, they became permanently part of the architecture. So we had to design many elements, like this is a shower enclosure with the basin or bathtubs, many elements, complete collection like these. And there are many elements that we designed in the past that give us a lot of opportunity to express. And then you see, always trying to express a mood. A mood is very important for me. The mood is not just, when we not design just the object, but we try to also to think around the product, also the mood that they are expressing. The same collection, you change the architecture and it gives a completely different appeal. But after 25 years, we designed so many things, really so many. There are so many things that we design in our life that sometimes we look at all this design, all the things we design in our life, and we pose a question: do we really need more products? This is my job to design, and I can't do different. So in the last years, I try to change my way of design. I try to change my attitude, and I try to design good goods, things that really have a meaning in for what I do. And if somebody proposed me to design something that I don't think is a good, I say thanks, no. I have the chance to say today that I can renounce to a product more, but I think that this is important to do really the things that I feel like they are really important for what I'm doing. And I think time is now, because we are full of rubbish, and what we do, it can be one rubbish more to add to what we are surrounded, as I told you. And when I think about um, how to design my stuff, I think always that I'm always inspired by masters, and what really I don't want to be, what I don't want to do is style. Style is something that is so far from me. I think that for a good designer, it's very important to have a method, not a style. And a couple of samples. Um, I had the chance to have a great master, Achille Castiglioni, that is one of the most important designers in Italy. He used to say that if you're not curious, forget it, this is not the job for you. And this is exactly what I think. When you do style, you repeat your style, and it means you're not curious. And this is not the job for being not curious. You are a creative person. You have to squeeze your brain and your heart, your feelings, and try to get the best from inspiration, from your inspiration, to do something for the other people. And the same, Achille Castiglioni, this is not designed by me, but from Achille Castiglioni, was designing the Toyo from Flossen, from the same company, for the same brand. He was designing the Stilo. Two elements, one inspired from the ready-made art, and the other one inspired from the minimalistic art. So he was working around art. He was thinking about art, and was transferring this art into lamps. And he was doing with the curiosity of a baby, perhaps, and doing something that is completely different design, a completely different aesthetic, but the same method in research and getting from the inspiration the right product. And the same, Vico Magistretti, another giant of the Italian design. Sorry, I drink a little bit. Another giant of Italian design. He was I think he designed some of the best sofas of our history. He was designing the Maralunga for Cassina, the iconic sofa of the Borghese North European in the 70s, and the Raffles from the Padova, that is a quite classic sofa that seems to be stolen by a lounge in Singapore. Again, two different design, same designer, different brands, but the same method in research, inspiration, and make it into a product. So I think that what we need is masters, not stars. Masters for me is somebody that is curious, that is open-minded, that is not trying to impose a design, is not trying to impose a style, to impose a sign, but is sharing his curiosity with the people and trying to have the best way to be connected. I think connection is something that really is the most important word today, especially now. And for that, we try to be connected with the past. We did a fantastic job now with a brand named Ideal Standard. It is really one of the most famous brands, the most, let's say, historical brand. Is in the 54, Joe Ponti was designed the Zeta, and we are re-editing now with redesigning completely this product. And I was, instead of being in two pieces, we designed it in one piece. And it's funny because I was watching this, the idea comes from watching from this picture of Sofia Loren, is one of our divas. In the 50s, she was wearing this black dress that emphasized her body. And I say, okay, in the 50s, that was the shape of this. The original one was designed in the 50s, and I want to make one body like the body of these 50s divas. And the same, the Conca, there's another very famous made in the 70s by Paolo Tilke, and we redesign it into another more contemporary. Or last, the Linda, also from Castiglioni, that we had the chance to reinterpret it with using a new material. It's a very important, the evolution we can have working with the producer, with the manufacturers. In this case, we were using a completely different kind of ceramic. This ceramics can allow us to create something very, very slim, very, very light. We reduce of the 40% the impact of the ecological impact in the environment. And why? Because using this kind of materials, we'll use, for example, 40% less of material. That means 40% less of water. That means 40% of energy to cook it. And it's very white. So we use even 80% less of the glazing. So if you think about this material, substituting the standard ceramic in sanitary ware, you can have we can save, in terms of environmental friendly product, a huge part of our resources to produce this. This is technology, and we are always working with the brands to involve this technology. Sustainability, so for me, is a very one of the things that I always ask to the brands I'm working for, and I have some rules in order to understand what is sustainable for me. For example, durability. Durability is connected to being not trendy. Durability is something that is not I was talking about fashion before. Fashion fades. La mode de mode. Used to say Coco Chanel. She created the tailleur. She creates the iconic of the contemporary women's dresses, and some of these iconic are still absolutely contemporary. So what we do today, we don't have to burn into a season, and because of the way, we have to throw away. And if we throw away, it becomes rubbish, and it is going to infect the environment of the world. And so we have to make something that is precious. Have you ever seen somebody throwing away the gold? I never. So if we do good quality, if we make our design to be gold, for sure the people is going to keep it. But the life of the product, for sure, is not like gold, unfortunately. So we have to think always how to create the life of the product, but also we have to think about the death of the product. And so it's a very important element is disassemblability. What does it mean? It means that if I have a 90% cotton t-shirt with just 1% of polyester, this t-shirt is not disassemblable. So this cotton is absolutely not ecological, even if there is only 1% of polyester. And the same, when we design furnitures, we have to think about this. And for example, can luxury product can be eco-friendly? We designed this sofa for Poltrona Frau a couple of years ago. Now this sofa is the #1 in sales, and is a product that for sure is not cheap. It's not absolutely not democratic. Let me say, it's very exclusive product. And we designed it using saddle leather, but we designed a structure very light, made in aluminum, 100% recyclable. But the interesting thing is that all the structure of the sofa is disassemblable. That means that when the life of the product is finished, you can recycle every single part of this product in a different way. If it was designed not to be disassemblable, you have to throw away the entire structure. In this way, the aluminum is recyclable, the leather is biodegradable, and so on and so on. So this is interesting, the way we rebuilt the concept of this element. Is a work that looks very nice, but at the end is a work of more like of an engineer than an architect. And that's the reason why I say design is not to be trendy. Design has to last until it wears out, but it has to be a good design. But what happens when the life of the design ends? Recyclability is another very important issue in our job, in my job for sure. I tell you a little story about one of the smallest things I designed in the last years. I was in an hotel in China, and I was watching these millions of small shampoo that they give in these hotels, and I was thinking how many of this shampoo we threw in the waste every day. And so we decided to work and design something that can be done, can be used, and recycled completely. So I spoke with a friend of mine that has a production of these elements for the hotels, and we designed this shelf in plastic with this recharge in plastic and the valve. The funny thing, the interesting thing, and at the end we found a way to make everything with the same material. Everything is the same material. So when the recharge is finished, they just remove it, they recycled completely, and then we substituted with a new one from the same brand. So this sorry, this design, this shampoo is Recharge has been now part of the star hotels, and they are starting to use it, and they are very happy about this soap dispenser. To finish, just a little window on the what we have done in architecture. Architecture, as I am an architect and not only designer, and for me it's very important when we design a product to think it in an environment, and also sometimes to design an environment. When we design like yachts, for me is something in between. It's like an architecture, but it's also like a big object, let me say. And this is a concept we designed for Benetti a couple of years ago, and it was an opportunity to work with the engineers of Benetti in order to reinvent a boat that can give us the complete view of the sea, because normally the yachts are very they are not so open, because they have to sail in sea condition very tough, so they can't have normally the big windows like that. But now the technology help us to create bigger windows, and so we were able to design this yacht in a completely different way. So this is a concept we are working out. Seems they are going to build it one, and we are very happy about it. And the same, when we are working in architecture, we are not only creating something new. I think the job of an architect is not only to reinvent, to invent a new thing, but sometimes to reinvent. One of the things I have been an Italian architect, for me is very important, because we have a huge heritage of buildings all over our country, and we have a lot of possibility to reinvent a role, to invent a function, to invent a life for this kind of spaces. In this case, for example, we have an old olive mill in the south of Italy, in Salento region. That is one of the most beautiful places in our country. That it was a place where they were producing a lot of this olive oil, and so all the region is full of places like this where they was producing. And we were renovated into a private house, so we removed the machinery, and we renovated using absolutely the same materials that was used in the past, only working, trying to give a new life and give a new story to this place. Because for us it was very important not to destroy it, not to throw it away. Again, I think sometimes when we talk about sustainability is also sometimes regarding the architecture, in terms that what we are throwing away, the buildings that we are losing, they will be lost forever. And some of these buildings that are sometimes very old, but not so much, let me say, well known, can have a second life. The same. This was an old palace that belongs to a very rich family in the south of Italy, but you know, in the past the rich families has a lot of children. In this case, there was only one owner, and the owner was these huge buildings that he didn't know what to do with these huge buildings. So we changed this building into a hotel. And last year we had a chance to receive the prize of the best European hotel from the head in London. It was a very good opportunity for us to tell the story about this place. And we try to renovate this place in the best way in order to save. Now I show you some picture of this place, and you think they look like we didn't quite nothing, but the place was completely destroyed, and we have to do a big job, not only of renovation but also of restoration of the place. Originally there was silk on the walls, but the silk was completely destroyed by the humidity. So we had to reinvent a way to create a painting on the wall, but that was looking like the effect of the silk, but was not silk because it was not possible to find a silk similar, and so on and so on. But emotion is very important driver for me, and sometimes when we design some places like this, is important to create also some events, some spectacular let me say experience, in order to create a different way to think about these kind of places. Well, just some more picture to tell you about this story. And this was funny because I stolen the idea of the cactus from the house of Diego Ribera. So I have to confess that it was the idea of the cactus in put in this way was completely stolen. And thanks to Mexico for inspiring me. This was a very nice because we had the chance to have a lot of people coming, and the people was sharing the experience with Instagram, and this was interesting to see the reaction of the people, because connection is very important when you see when you can taste really the how the people is living what you're doing, the product you're doing, the architecture you're doing. And the last I want to show you one of the job we are doing now. We are renovating another building. This is a very old building. It was an old canteen in the downtown of Brescia, that is a town nearby Milano. And this canteen was completely abandoned because it is in the downtown, so it's not possible to be used. And now we are trying to renovate it, this space, into a shopping mall. It's a shopping mall. Now we are stopped. We had to stop the work because of the COVID, but we hope to start again as soon as possible, because the space is really, really interesting, and we want to renovate it and to give again a new life to this place. And that's all, folks. Hope you had fun. I hope you find something interesting, and it's a little bit of a squeeze in a small time. All my job of the last 25 years, but there's more or less everything.
That's impressive work. We really thank you, Roberto. And now we're gonna have some space for questions. I have the first one here, and they ask you, how is it that you inspire some work for contest, or what is your main the process for develop the concepts for your new pieces?
Basically, as I told you, we are not alone. We work with the brands. We have the chance that we share the concept with the brand. Sometimes we propose the concept. Sometimes they propose us the concept. So we work together in order to define the concept and the product at the same time. I'm very lucky because, you know, as I am an old guy, they trust me. They work with me sometimes since 20 years, and so we have a very strong everyday relationship. So I have an idea. We call, we talk, we go out for dinner. It's very human relationship, a very long history, and a very good connection we have with these people. The process is very simple. We try to understand what people needs. So we try to listen to the people before to speak. I think a design is an answer. And so if you don't listen the question, you can't answer. If you want to know what you have to do, you have to listen the people and be cultured. Understand what is going on in the world. Try to understand what kind of people what kind of people has a new need. And when you understand a new need, you try to give an answer with your design. And you need to have for sure the opportunity to have somebody that helps you to develop, because you can't do it yourself. And sometimes it costs a lot of money to produce new stuff, but more or less that's all.
And the next question here is, have you ever hit a point where you feel stuck as a designer? If you so, how did you overcome it?
Sorry?
Have you ever hit a point where you feel stuck as a designer inside your process? And if it happens, how did you overcome that situation?
Frankly speaking, for me, design is like to drive the car. I've learned to do it, and now I do it without thinking. So I'm not. I do it all day long. So I wake up in the morning, I design, I dream about design, I eat about design. For me, design is a very normal flow of my day. There is not. When you're driving the car, you're not thinking. You just feel the engine, and then you watch it in front of you or behind you, and you react for what is the stimulation, the inspiration that you have on around you. I don't think, frankly speaking, perhaps I'm stupid, but frankly speaking, I don't think so much. I just do, and this is enough for me. Do and what I do, I try to put my senses and my emotion in what I'm doing. This is very, very, very me, I think.
Yes, I think in another discussion we have the design as a lifestyle. We need to, as you say, we wake up and we design, we eat design, we dress design. We have to be in everything, and I think that's the way to avoid these stuck moments, as the students say, no?
Absolutely.
And I agree. Apart from the inspiration of Diego Rivera's cactus, have had you another inspiration in Mexico in another of your projects or products?
So many. You have to think that my favorite architect all over the world is Barragan. So only I can stay hours watching the light of the day, caressing the walls of Barragan. I can stay hours watching the colors of the walls of changing during the day, to see the volumes, to see the perfection of these buildings, the perfection of the objects inside. Unfortunately, I can't spend. I didn't have a chance to spend enough time and in Mexico to work. I would like to go to see more, because I've been only in Mexico City to see the architecture of Barragán. I would like to see more and more. And for sure, colors. The colors of Mexico are so important for me. They in Europe now we are focused on beige and gray, this kind of neutral colors, and in Mexico the courage to use it. You're brave in using colors, and the sense of the colors for me is, I was born in the south. I belong to the sun, I belong to the water, I belong to the sea, I belong to this kind of thing. So when I'm dying in the north, and so I put the colors in whatever I do. When I try to even the white, the full white that contains all the colors is a very strong color, and so many other things. Some crafts I see in Mexico for the fabrics, for example, and everything. So many things. But for me, design sometimes is to express a mood. When you express the mood, it's not important what you are designing or the style of what you're doing. I'm curious, so for me, it's important to create a mood. So I catch the mood and I try to create this mood in a completely original way. So I like when the people say, I like to stay in your architecture. I like to use your pieces. I like to have a connection, to have a use of your stuff. This is very good.
Yeah, sure, and I agree. And sometimes here in Mexico, we don't value the way we should the Mexican architects and everything around us, the colors, the inspirations. And in another question, they add some other architects for you, the most important architects that you learned from, besides Castiglioni and all the great masters in design, and Barragan?
For sure, my wife. I have to say that, otherwise she killed me.
That was a forced question. I'm sorry.
But a lot. I mean, it's important to have to accept masters in your life. It's very important to accept masters, even contemporary, even friends. I have some very good friends in my colleagues. I think they can be masters. I learn a lot from everything, from everybody. I don't have a, I mean, I'm very curious. The baby inside of me is still alive. So when I watch a new, in these days we are crying we lost Christian Liegre, that is it's a fantastic interior for French interior, and his incredible quality of his details. But at the same time, I like people like Le Corbusier or Walter Gropius or other things. I mean, culture is something that doesn't need to make a choice. The choice you do when you work, but not when you study. I don't know how to explain in a right way. When you study, you have to be open. It's like when you taste food, you have to be open. Otherwise, you lose an experience. You lose an opportunity to make an experience. And the same when you're studying or watching architecture. So everybody is a master for me. Zadid is so far from me, but on the other side, I recognize their value, and the same for many others. So at the end, I am the master of myself, but because I accept that all the other ones are masters themselves. So everybody and nobody, I can answer in this way.
That's an amazing phrase, and I think it includes everything, because we have to learn from everyone and from ourselves. And that's from the next question. And you say that it's more important a method than aesthetics, and I agree. Which is the question is, which is the most important part for you in the design process that you have in this method, the one that keeps all your attention?
Curiosity. Curiosity is the beginning of the method. Because the method for me is the way we have to transfer our curiosity into a real product. But if we are not curious, as Castiglione was saying, something very good. When we are talking of curious, it's not just something prude. To be curious means to go deep, to understand that behind something we see there is a value that goes on the aesthetic, that goes on the shape. There is something far beyond. So we have to be curious in terms of go deep, to understand. That's what I mean when I'm saying we have to be curious, not to see one shape more or to see one more magazine. We have to be curious in terms of that. We have to go inside this product to study, to understand why the designer is doing this or when doing that, which is the real reason, or for perhaps which is my reason, because I want to see something inside. I mean, when we watch the people, the things we like, always we recognize something that belongs to ourselves, and this is very important for me. I still recognize in myself the question and the answer of everything. So that's a little bit the truth.
Yes, of course. And we have another question, is a little bit changing of subject, and it says that what do you think is the position of designers or architects or product developers in consumism?
Big responsibility. I mean, I think today the biggest problem we have is more fashion than designers, but it's the mass production is the problem. We abandon the craft we don't have craft anymore, and the craft has become something that we use for produce souvenirs. And craft was another important way to produce goods, and we are abandoned. I show some example of industrial lamps made with the craft technique of blowing glasses, like it was done hundreds of years ago. So I mean, what is important for me is to try to understand that the mass production, if it's not sustained by a very strong reason, it becomes it can be a lot of pollution. So look at fashion, for example. To produce a t-shirt, you need such a lot of water. Sometimes you need more than 100 liters of water to produce a t-shirt. A stupid t-shirt from any brand. And I'm talking about, I'm really talking about the last brand you can find in the market. And we have to keep attention, because what seems absolutely not dangerous in one piece, when we multiply this for millions of pieces, it becomes a big danger. That's the reason why, for example, I was talking about this kind of ceramic that can reduce a lot the impact of the on the environment. And this, for example, is very important, because when you multiply this for millions of pieces, then it becomes an important issue for the environment. And that's all. I think these kind of things are very important.
Yes, of course. And we should be taking more care of our suppliers and put more attention in all the different materials and the new technologies, as you say in your lecture. So technology is a way that we can transform design. We have now new possibilities to have more, how do you say it, to improve the methods of fabrication and manufacturing process and everything.
Wait, I have the iPhone 10. I'm not going to buy the 11. I will wait until 12. I mean, I can. This is the problem. We are forced to buy like we are like chickens. They are forced to eat in order to be eaten as fast as possible. So we have to be conscious that we are from one side, they are forcing us to consume, and we can't be partners as designers, as architects of this method.
Yes,
we have to not to refuse, but to change. We have to try to make a consumer a consciousness. We have to work on the consciousness. Otherwise, we are just we are part of the consumerism, and this is not what I'm thinking. I try to make values and not just goods. I call them good goods. I don't know another way to. So it's like a girl can be only nice because after or a guy can be not only nice. It has to be also intelligent.
Yes, of course. And we have time for one last question. And unfortunately, we don't have enough time, so we can enjoy talking about design for hours. But we really thank you a lot for taking the time. We know the difference of time is a little bit complicated in Europe to Mexico, so
normally I sleep at this time. Normally I sleep. I'm an old man, guys. I need to rest. It's 2 o'clock in the morning now, and normally I am in my bed. So, but I'm very very happy to be here with you, and really I would like to be there with my body, not just with my face on a screen.
That would be amazing, and I'm pretty sure we have some time to be here in Mexico and know Barragan's house again, and a lot of trips, and then we'll go back to Europe, and so you can show us Milan.
Guys, I miss so much the Mexican food, you can't imagine.
It's amazing. I love it. And I love Italian food.
I know.
I'm a frustrated chef, as I said.
Cool.
So I'm going to finish with this, and it's a little bit like a forced question. In these times of COVID-19 and everyone is at home and the new products and everyone is trying to reach the local suppliers again, and the manufacturing process is not in mass production right now because we don't have the reach. So where do you think this pandemic situation leads design now, and where do you think designers and product developers, where is the new route, where is the future right now, on the vision on how we have to change directions?
First of all, we understood that we are worldwide weak. We thought to be immortals, super powerful, that nothing can hurt us. We have I have an heartache, I take a pill. I have got a flu, I take a pill. I got a pill. So sometimes now you can take all the pills you want. If you get this fucking virus, you are fucked. Sorry if I use these words, but this
It's
is
the
the
proper
this
for
is
the
the thing.
situation.
Yeah, this is the situation. So for sure, this is going to change something. First of all, we are doing something in a digital way. A couple of months ago, I was traveling worldwide. I was spending more time in planes than on the ground. So now I'm doing hundreds of these webinars together to join the people, and this new way to be connected is very important because it gives us the opportunity to be instantaneously this very fast, very really changing the way we are communicating, and this communication is opening a completely different way to think, to share, to have a common sense of the world. And nobody can stop it. And so if somebody is going to try to stop it, we take the guns and we go to fight against. Because I think that freedom is the most important thing that we are learning from, even when we are in jail in our own houses. I think that the world will be changed by this because for sure, for example, we will learn how to work staying at home, using less, consuming less to go every day to work, and the same. We will do a lot of things in a different way. I think that we learn a lot about our houses, and learning a lot about our houses, we learn a lot about ourselves. I think before we were, I think places like Milano, like Europe, you go to only to sleep at home. Then you go to work in the morning, you go out with the friends, and then you go out, you go back at home just to wash and sleep. Even we don't cook, in Italy, we used to have the dinner, the lunch, the families, and so on. Nothing more. You go out and then you go just back to sleep. So we are learning that our houses represents the place where we have to be safe. It's I used to say they are the 3F that are fundamental for the life of the people: food, fashion, and furniture. Food, because if you don't eat, you die. Fashion, because if you don't put the clothes, if it's cold, you're going to die the same. And furniture represent the bedroom. So this is the place where you sleep. And you have to think that if you don't sleep, you die before if you don't eat or if you don't use clothes. So the house is the place where we protect ourselves. It's the place where we go to sleep. It's the place where we are not thinking, we are not on, but the walls are protecting us. And this part of our weakness is that half of our day, or more or less, we sleep. We are out of our bodies. We are in our dreams. And that's the reason why the house has so much important place. This is the place where we have to be comfortable, where we have to open our hearts completely. And we have to make these houses in a completely way. We have to teach the people to have different kind of houses, to use less things, to use less goods, to use good materials, to have a warm, welcoming every time that you open the door of your house. I don't know. I think that this COVID forced us to look inside our primitive way of being humans on this land, and we discovered that we are just small animals, afraid, trying to find a hole in the ground to hide, because otherwise we will be blown away by a stupid virus. That's all.
Yes, that's amazing, and how nature reacts to when humans are locked down. It's amazing how here in Mexico we have some beaches
I want to tell you a small story.
Okay.
About I live in downtown of Milano, And nearby my house, they are building a new building. They're working on a new building. And during the lockdown, I'm really in the downtown, really in the center of Milano. And I was going out with my dogs because it was the only moment I can go out. And then I saw two huge wild rabbits in the street, and it was like, oh my God, where they came in these rabbits? How they could arrive from so far away, because they are really wild ones. And they went into the place where they're building and stayed there, and we was giving them food because there was not possible to feed them because they. And then we tried to catch them. At the end with the Association for the Wild Animals, they came with the cages. We were able to catch both of them, and we bring them back to the nature. But it was after 2 weeks of lockdown. The wild animals were already downtown. It's crazy. So nature is only expecting that we disappear from this world to save the world again. I hope we have to try to learn a lot from this kind of situation.
Yes, this is a nice reflection and a short story as well. In Mexico, in Acapulco Beach, it's a very touristic beach. It's never animals, and now we see whales and turtles, and that's impressive, no? And let me finish this lecture with the reflection that you said, that the best teacher for you is yourself, because that allows you to learn from other masters, and that's impressive. And the reflection that nature is only waiting for us to disappear in order to fix the planet, it's a wake-up call, I think. And I thank you a lot for being here.
Thank you. Big hug, guys. Hope to see you in real, and save some tequila for me.
We're going to save you a lot of tequila and mezcal for you when you come here. Very nice meal as well.
Cool.
So you're welcome, you and your wife, and anytime you want to be in Mexico, you have your house here at the university, and personally in my house. We thank you a lot, Roberto. I send you a hug back there. I hope everything is okay. And
thank you.
And thank you to all your team. They were very exceptional with us and with me. So thank you a lot for Nicolo, Isabella, and everyone in your office.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye. Thank you a lot.
Bye. Thank you.
Hasta luego, Julián. Buenas tardes.
Diego, ¿cómo estás? Buenas tardes. ¿Qué te pareció?
Bien, bastante bien, muy interesante. Ahora sí que apoyado en los grandes, ¿no? Al final de cuentas.
Sí, no, él ya es uno de los grandes que van a estar aprendiendo al rato, vas a ver.
Exacto. Sí, no, pues ahora sí que todo basado ahí en esa misma historia al final de cuentas, ¿no?
Nada ha cambiado, más bien hay que seguir poniendo atención y ser curiosos, como dice ahí.
Exactamente. Muy bien.
Bastante bien.
Cuídate mucho.
Bonita tarde.
Gracias, Julián.
¿Cómo te pareció?
Muy bien, llevaste todo.
Qué bueno. Ahí andamos. Se traba luego de repente mi francés, pero...
Sí, pues...
Andaba nervioso.
Oye,
ya que estabas en la audiencia, Cacho.
Oye, yo no lo puedo hacer mejor, así que mejor no digo nada. Nos vemos, cuídate mucho.
Por ahí.
Sí.
Saludos
Gracias.
Y que todo esté muy bien. Gracias.
Igualmente, bye.
Hasta luego.
Bye, bye. Muchas gracias a todos, chavos. Qué bueno que estuvieron por aquí. Espero les haya gustado mucho. Vamos a cerrar ya la sesión.